Hello and welcome to another segment of Veterans Did You Know? I'm Dave Eling, I'm the Director of the County Department of Veterans Affairs, and today I have a very special guest, and a longtime friend of mine is Nancy Frye. Nancy is an Air Force veteran herself, such as I am, so that she's in really good standing with me, and so was her husband, a retired military veteran, Air Force, such as I was, so they're really in good standing with me. And Nancy was a county commissioner, and she was on the county commission at the time we birthed this Veterans Service Center concept and brought it to Muskegon, and she was one of the 3 commissioners that had the nerve to stand up and support us when we went after the millage to put the proposal on the ballot. And I've thanked her many times for doing that for us, and we've come a long ways with that. And Nancy also is as you can see, she's the past commander, the first female commander, American Legion Post 69 in Whitehall, and then now she went up to the District 9. It was the president of District Commander, I guess it's Commander. And now she's the vice commander of the state of Michigan. So Nancy's come a long ways and done many things, opened many doors, and she was a popular female veteran before female veterans realized that there were female veterans out there. And then we want to talk about some of those things today, Nancy, some things that's happening with the American Legion, some of the things that's happening at the state level, and we've discussed a little bit about our service officers and what's going on, but welcome to the show. It's great to have you here, and it's always a joy to talk with you. So.
And same here, Dave, and I've admired the work that you've done since this service organization here for veterans became what it is today, a reality, and the way that that you have programs and doctors and mental health care, and it just goes on and on about what is available here for our veterans in our community. I'm sure some outside our community as well.
Well, I think right now the clinic itself, they have about 3,500 veterans are assigned, and they're pulling on anything that's closer than Grand Rapids. I think from as far as Manistee are coming down here to get medical care, which is pretty proud because that brings people into our community. And I remember back on the commission when we first asked about this, a couple of commissioners were concerned about, well, maybe we should build these other communities who aren't thinking forward like us and passing this millage and using the local tax dollars to fund this organization so we can assist our veterans. And I said, well, that's pretty difficult to pinpoint the veteran, then go back to Lake County or Mason County or Oceana County and say, hey, we took care of some of your vets and here's a bill. I don't think you'd ever get it paid. But so we just said, think of this as a tourist attraction, because when a vet comes down here, while they're here in Muskegon, they're probably going to buy gasoline, they're going to get some food to eat, and they're going to do a little shopping before they go back home. And so they kind of left us alone at that. But still to this day, Muskegon County is the only county of the 83 that was innovative enough to go after a special veterans millage and put that on the ballot. And we've renewed that twice now, which is the 25 years of funding. And had the thought of taking care of our vets. And again, it was that group of commissioners at the time that stepped outside the box and said, well, okay, this is kind of new, and we're very proud of our veterans. And there were a number of vets that happened to be sitting on the committee at that time. I think there's 3 of you at that time were veterans. And the rest of them said, well, let's do this. And said that the rest is history, but yeah, it's pretty amazing what we're able to do. And I left out the point that Nancy 2 times had very tough runs for the House of Representatives, state of Michigan. I sure wish she would have gotten there, because we have a House bill down there we worked on a long time ago that's still languishing down there to help institute one of these, a vet center in every county. So, and it's always been our thought the vets should not have to leave their county to get the resources that they need. And Nancy was instrumental in that. She's a little shy or maybe a little bashful about it, but she was a big gun and stuck her neck out when it probably wasn't politically correct for her own career to do that on a tax issue especially, but it worked out well. And I
yes,
thank
it
her for
is.
standing up because she knew it was the right thing to do. And that's one of the things I admire so much about her through everything she's done. She's not afraid to take a stand, never has been, and I don't think she ever will be. There was that one time, though, with Huey, you did say something that hurt him.
Huey, my husband, yes.
He's forgiven her, I think, for that, David. He's got enough baked goods out of that deal.
You probably want to hear more about that, but I do want to talk about the American Legion, and that we have 3 million members nationwide. and that we have 75,000 members here in the state of Michigan. And you're right about the political part of it. We are a grassroots organization, and when there is a political issue for veterans, we will stand up and we will speak out, and of course in favor of veterans, and we will make it known why that's important, not just verbiage, but there are veterans who need specific kinds of help, and one of those areas, of course, is here, what happens here at the Vet Center. So Dave, being a part of a veterans organization, which is the largest in the nation, is just a real plus for me. And I'd like to tell you, Dave, how I became a member of the American Legion. I've been a member now for 23 years. I happened to be at a parade in Whitehall. It was, I believe, the 4th of July parade. And I was standing on the side watching the parade with everyone else. And the American Legion was coming down the street. And they had our American flag right out in front like they always do. And I put my hand over my heart, and I was so proud of them. They looked sharp. You could tell that they were marching for America, not just marching on the 4th of July, and that they had the history of being a veteran and what they have done for our nation as they've been all over the world. And I said to myself, you're a veteran, Nancy. It's time that you've joined an organization, and this is the organization you need to join. I followed them back to the American Legion and went in and said, what do I have to do to become a member? And they signed me up rather quickly. And so for 23 years, I've been a part of the American Legion. My husband is a member of many veterans organizations, along with the VFW. So we support a lot of veterans organizations, but for me, my love is the American Legion. And it's been an honor to be able to move up the ranks. And of course, you can't do that without being elected to the positions. So each time I'm elected to a position in the American Legion, I tell myself, you've got to do the best darn job that you can possibly do, because not only do you represent veterans, but you also represent women who are veterans. And for a long time, we didn't hear a lot about women's veterans, but we do now, don't we, Dave?
Oh, very much so. I think the veterans make up probably 12% of the population, and the female vet was smaller than that. But today, in today's military, I think they make up almost 20% of the military population, and 14% of those that are fighting in Afghanistan and Iraq are female veterans. And as we speak today, we have female veterans who are in every single position that there is. Fighter pilots, radio control persons, front line, and it used to be that they couldn't be on the very front line, but with this war, by virtue of as soon as you step into a vehicle and you drive in a convoy or any place, you're the front line. The front line is all around you. So, and they have been in many firefights. We've lost many in this war. We have lost many female veterans, service members in this war, many wounded. And they took up that arm and that rifle just like anybody else does, and they've proven themselves millions of times over, and very proud of them. But now we have a unique thing coming back to the VA, because it's always the aftermath. We do these wars, and we send our folks over there, and then when they get wounded, and then we just kind of send them back home and say, well, let's go to the VA. And probably one of the biggest things that we've always had was this post-traumatic stress.
Yes.
And that was really big with the Vietnam vets. They finally put that label to it. In the olden days it was shell-shocked or battle fatigue in World War II. And Vietnam vets, they finally put this little psychological label on it, post-traumatic stress. And after 30-something or 40 years, we kind of figure out, how you can deal with that. And 92% of all combat vets from Vietnam are on subsequent marriages, which means they're not married to the same person they were married to when they went over there. Mm-hmm. And most of the dissolving of those marriages was directly related to the inability of the family to cope with the individual who has that post-traumatic stress. They didn't know what it was. There was a psychological problem. Johnny was never the same when he came home, and it just broke the family apart. Well, through many years of trials and tribulations, we understand that now. But what we have for the first time now is we have female veterans coming back with full-blown legitimate post-traumatic stress from witnessing the things that they witnessed, being exposed to, being involved with that. And we've never had that dynamics before, because always it was the male in the relationship that acted out and the spouse took it. The wife took all the abuse, took all the...
Kept it quiet.
Yes, because, we have to deal with this. And that's who acted out on it. But now we're having female vets coming back with post-traumatic stress, and our concern is that female vet going to act out against the alpha male? Probably not. So when she acts out from the symptoms of post-traumatic stress, who's going to get that?
The children.
The children are.
It's the
That's
children.
where the concern is. So that's why it's important to have females in all aspects of this who understand this and get the help. I think we need to take a little break right here, and we'll take just a few minutes, and we're back to see you. And stay tuned, please.